Imagine stepping into a room where your arrival shifts the atmosphere. The conversations don't just continue. They pause, if only for a second. Eyes turn toward you, not in forced politeness, but in genuine acknowledgement. Your presence commands respect. Your contributions are not merely heard, but valued. And when opinions are exchanged, yours is sought out first. This is not fantasy. It is not charisma bestowed at birth, or some mysterious aura possessed by only the chosen few. It is the result of discipline, deliberate choices, and the mastery of timeless principles that stretch back through centuries of human wisdom. Today, you're going to learn the 9 powerful psychological strategies rooted in Stoic philosophy that can elevate your standing and make you a priority in any situation. But let's start with honesty. You know the frustration of being undervalued and overlooked. You put in the effort, the long hours, the invisible labor. Yet somehow you feel like a shadow even in broad daylight. People pass you by, conversations flow around you, and recognition lands elsewhere. It is a common story, but it does not have to be yours. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy forged in the streets of Athens and Rome, offers us a radical lesson. True worth comes from within and cannot be stripped away by external oversight. And yet, we also know that being recognized by others in careers, relationships, communities can open doors, amplify opportunities, and allow our inner value to create an outward impact. These 9 strategies are not theoretical. They are practical, battle-tested, and deeply human. They will not only earn you recognition, but will also strengthen your inner fortitude. So as we begin, remember, these are not mere tricks. They are transformations. Each one reshapes the way you see yourself, and in turn, the way the world sees you. This is not about capturing fleeting attention. It is about establishing presence, respect, and influence that endure long after the first impression. Let us begin. 1. Command your space. Respect begins with presence. Think about the spaces you inhabit every day. The office, the gym, your home, even the digital spaces of emails and video calls. Most people drift through these spaces passively, like background actors in someone else's movie. But what if you stepped into these spaces as though you belonged there, as though you were written into the script as a central character? Commanding your space doesn't mean being loud, domineering, or arrogant. It means carrying yourself with an inner authority that quietly but unmistakably says, I belong here. The Stoics remind us that control lies not in others' judgments, but in our own posture, our own demeanor, our own choices. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome and philosopher, once wrote, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you walk into a room with the mindset that you are worthy, not because someone else grants you worth, but because you recognize it in yourself, everything shifts." Picture this. 2 people enter the same room. One slouches, head down, apologetic in movement, radiating hesitation. The other enters upright, with deliberate steps, eyes steady, not rushed, but not timid either. Nothing loud, nothing exaggerated, just presence. Who do you notice first? Commanding your space is about sending a signal. It is saying, without words, I respect myself enough to take up room in this world. And when you respect yourself, others are far more likely to follow suit. Ask yourself, in which spaces am I merely present, and in which am I truly commanding? Where am I acting like a guest, and where am I acting like the rightful owner of my time and energy? If you want to be the main act in life's play, you must first step into the lead role of your own story. 2. Forge your own joy. Here's a truth shot straight, without sugarcoating. If your happiness depends on someone else, you're building your house on sand. One change of tide, one withdrawal of affection, one missed recognition, and it all crumbles. The man who masters his own joy is untouchable. Stoicism does not ask you to suppress emotion. It asks you to source your satisfaction from what cannot be taken from you, from the routines you cultivate, from the discipline you uphold, from the progress you make in silence when no one is watching. Think of it this way. Have you ever noticed how people are magnetically drawn to someone who seems at ease with themselves? They might not be the loudest, richest, or most outwardly impressive, yet there is a gravity about them. Why? Because they do not seek constant validation. They generate their own joy, like a fire that warms, not because it's fed by others, but because it has fuel within. Epictetus, once a slave and later a revered Stoic teacher, taught that freedom lies in mastering one's own desires and aversions. To rely on others for joy is to live enslaved. To create joy from within is to live free. This does not mean retreating into solitude or rejecting connection. It means being so rooted in your own happiness that you become a steady rock, not the restless waves crashing against it. When you carry this inner contentment, people take notice. You stop being an option. You become a priority. Because here's the secret. People chase stability. They admire self-sufficiency. And when your joy is forged within, you embody the very thing they seek but cannot easily find. 3. Master the art of presence by absence. Scarcity is value. If gold were as common as gravel, it would be worthless. Apply that principle to yourself. If you are endlessly available, endlessly accommodating, endlessly present, you become background noise, taken for granted, overlooked. The Stoics were not hermits. They engaged deeply with life, but they understood the value of measured engagement. Seneca warned of scattering one's time too freely, reminding us that time is the most precious resource we own. If you want your presence to be respected, let it be rare enough to matter. This doesn't mean playing games or rationing your minutes with cruelty. It means cultivating a life so full of purpose and passion that your availability is naturally limited. You are not retreating. You are rising. Think of someone in your life whose time feels like a gift. When they show up, it feels special. Why? Because they are not always there. Their presence is rare, and therefore cherished. That is what you must become. Gold, not gravel. And here's the clincher. When you do grant someone your time, do it fully. No distractions. No half-hearted attention. Make the moment an event. Let them feel the weight of your presence. That is how absence enhances presence. 4. Keep your orbit. Command their interest. Here lies a paradox. The more you chase, the less you are valued. The more you retreat into your own gravity, the more you draw others toward you. If you make someone your sun, revolving entirely around them, you become predictable, constant, and eventually overlooked. But when you build your own orbit, a life filled with pursuits, passions, projects, and growth, you become the sun. Others feel your gravity. They lean closer, not because you begged for it, but because they cannot help it. This is not manipulation. It is alignment. You are not feigning indifference. You are genuinely invested in your own path. And in that self-alignment, you become unforgettable. The grass is always greener where it is harder to reach. People desire what is sovereign, what is whole, what is not easily obtained. When you stop orbiting others and start blazing your own path, you become the greener grass, not aloof, but self-contained, not distant, but deeply aligned. And in that alignment, you radiate mystery, challenge, allure. Your presence becomes not a right, but a reward. And suddenly, without trying, you find yourself at the center of gravity in others' lives. 5. Hold the power to step back. Here is the ultimate act of self-respect, the readiness to walk away from a negotiation, from a toxic relationship, from a deal that diminishes your worth. Walking away is not weakness. It is strength refined. It is not surrender. It is strategy. The Stoics remind us, control lies not in outcomes, but in our choices. If you are bound to any single outcome, you are not free. But when you can step back with calm, with clarity, with dignity, you declare to the world, I will not settle. Every time you show you are willing to walk, you raise your value, because others recognize the truth. Losing you is a cost they may not wish to pay. Walking away is not the end of the play. Sometimes it is the moment the other actors realize your importance. Think of it as the emperor's coin. To stay is a choice. To go is a choice. Both are yours to command. That sovereignty is power. 6. Cultivate the fear of losing you. Absence breeds appreciation. Scarcity creates value. And nothing sharpens recognition like the subtle fear of loss. This is not about manipulation or cruelty. It is about balance. If you pour every ounce of time, attention, and energy into someone, they may unconsciously devalue it. But when you diversify your attention into your work, your passions, your friendships, your growth, something shifts. They feel your absence. They reflect on your presence. And they begin to realize the space you occupy in their life. This is not cold withdrawal. It is recalibration. You are not disappearing. You are showing that your world is wide, your life is rich, and your worth is not confined to one person's recognition. And in doing so, you create the quiet but undeniable fear of losing you. Not because you threatened it, but because your life speaks it. 7. The allure of the unsaid in a world addicted to oversharing Mystery is magnetic. A Stoic knows the value of silence. Restraint is not weakness, it is wisdom. Revealing every detail of your life too soon diminishes its value. But offering glimpses, hints, broad strokes, that invites curiosity. People should earn the right to know your depths. Tell your story in layers, not floods. Share your passions in fragments, not monologues. Let others lean in, ask, wonder. Because what is unsaid is often more powerful than what is spoken. You become the puzzle they cannot stop thinking about, the book they want to keep turning. Mystery is not deception. It is discretion. And in discretion, you become unforgettable. 8. Invite investment value grows with effort. The more someone invests, the more they value the object of that investment. This is why relationships of any kind deepen not merely through charm, but through shared effort. Encourage others to invest in you. Let them contribute time, energy, attention. Not excessively, not exploitatively, but enough that their perception of your worth rises with their effort. If you are always available, always convenient, always effortless, you lower your own stock. But when you show integrity, priorities, commitments, and standards, you create space for others to earn their place. And when they do invest, acknowledge it. Gratitude reinforces value. Recognition deepens the bond. This is not about superiority. It is about respect. Respect for yourself and for the exchange of effort that makes any relationship matter. 9. The art of silence. Silence is not emptiness. It is presence in its most refined form. In a world drowning in noise, the absence of your voice can echo louder than constant chatter. If you are always the one initiating, always filling the silence, always chasing the dialogue, you devalue yourself. But when you pause, when you allow silence to stretch, you create space for others to step toward you. This is not a game. It is balance. It is the practice of restraint, the Stoic art of choosing when to speak and when to let silence speak for you. And when silence does its work, what follows is deeper, more meaningful, more balanced connection. Your words should be a rare commodity, sought after, not squandered. As we close, remember, these 9 strategies are not tricks. They are not manipulation. They are reflections of strength, dignity, and inner alignment. You are the architect of your worth, the master of your destiny. These principles command your space, forge your joy, master presence by absence, keep your orbit, hold the power to walk away, cultivate the fear of losing you, embrace mystery, invite investment, and wield silence, are not external tactics. They are internal transformations. Others may or may not prioritize you. That is beyond your control. But when you live by these principles, you ensure that you always prioritize yourself. And in doing so, paradoxically, the world cannot help but take notice.